Welcome in, everybody, to 21 Questions here on KC Sports Network. It is Kent Swanson. It is Sterling Holmes. You hear him on Arrowhead Addict. You hear him on 810. Sterling, been a minute, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I've missed you.
Yeah, dude, it's been like, I think the last time, it's been like 2 months probably since we did this. Something like that.
It must have gone so bad, you said. We gotta wait a little bit.
You know, I think the beautiful thing about 21 Questions is like I think we rotate every 4-ish weeks or so. So it may feel like it's been a while since I asked you, but it's probably been like 1, maybe 2, maybe 2 shows that I've actually had to do, if that makes you feel any better. So like, I hope you find a little bit of comfort in that. Are you talking about your medical issue right now? Are you broadcasting any of that at all?
It's broken ankle-like symptoms. It's like Darren Peterson, basically. No, yeah, I'm on a minutes restriction over here. Most people, if anyone's listened at all, like a month ago or so, I broke my ankle doing some laundry. It's a young man's game, and not for me. So fractured two little bones in my ankle. It's not bad. The boot's off because the boot sucks and I didn't want to wear it. So we're just hobbling around one step at a time, one stumble at a time. And what's been a bummer about February being nice. Yay, February is nice. My dumbass can't golf because I injured myself doing laundry. I've a little Greg Oden is what it feels like over here. I got some Greg Oden style of injury in me now.
I was just flabbergasted at the things that you were still doing regardless of the injuries that you're playing through. Being at the Super Bowl and doing all that's remarkable. Actually, I do have a question. What are the courses that you play the most in Kansas City? You shouldn't have started this.
Brook Ridge.
Okay.
So I play Brook Ridge the most. Dart League there now, baby. It's Wednesdays. Dart League. Let's go.
I think we had to schedule around Dart League like the last time that we were doing this show. Actually, now that I think about it,
probably did. It's either Dart League or Men's League for golf, because that's just Wednesdays. So I golf at Brook Ridge a lot. I don't know. I play a lot of other courses as well. I played Drum Farm a lot last year. Love Stone Canyon, Winterstone out there in Independence / Blue Springs. Those are 2 phenomenal courses out there. Iron Horse, if I ever want to pony up and pay the money to pay Iron Horse, because it's a great course, but it's expensive. I got to play Mission Hills once last year, so that was a fun little treat for me that I was very thrilled by. Thank you for taking me out, PJ. I appreciate it.
Have you ventured out too much to the Kansas side beyond Iron Horse? Is that like as far west as you get?
No. I play all over. I play the amount of I play all over. I grew up on St. Andrews. I guess Minor Park technically is on State Line, Missouri side. Grew up playing Minor Park nonstop, trying to drive every single short par 4 green. Obviously, St. Andrews, OP. I played a lot in Kansas. Sycamore Ridge is phenomenal.
I was gonna ask if you've been out to Sycamore, because that's my go-to if I can. That's like my go-to because I'm down south. Like that's my go-to. Heritage. I don't know if you played Heritage Park.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played Heritage, but Sycamore is so fun. Tale of Two Nines, very enjoyable, very different, very unique. Always in great shape. Relatively, it's priced very fair, I feel like. Also Sunflower. I do like Sunflower Hills as well. That one's a pretty solid Kansas course as well.
We had the KCSN golf tournament out there.
Nice.
For years.
Yeah, I like Sunflower.
We were at Creekmore last year. Mm-hmm. I think that was our first year out there.
Great greens. I still remember I played last year, and it was one of the windiest days of my entire life. The pins were nearly blown over. It was insane. So much fun. But yeah, Creekmore's a great course.
Mm-hmm. It was awesome. The last time I got to play, so in 2024, I've played since 2024. Don't worry. Sycamore had this like Cyber Monday deal late December 2024, and it was like you could get an entire foursome at Sycamore for like $160. You just had to play within the 2025 calendar year.
Sure.
So we bought 2, and we got the first one knocked out like June. And July rolled around, didn't get to it. August rolled around, didn't get to it. September, October, November. Oh, it's December 21st. And we have to play. We are running out of time. And so we went out there. We were literally the only people on the course that day because it was supposed to like sleet later that day.
The best part about this, that would have been $40 a person. I bet that day was like 25 a person if you would have gone to the clubhouse.
Probably. So yeah, we got a sick little discount on there, and we didn't even really use it because we only played 9, and I think we played 12. I think we wound up playing 12, but we got through 9, and they're like, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to let you play much longer, so just get in what you can. It started sleeting.
That sounds miserable. Out.
It was kind of awesome.
The money.
It was kind of awesome. I'm not gonna lie. It was still fun because like it was just like a good group of dudes. Like it's our buddies getting to hang out. I think got a little 5 farms to go with the coffee.
Sick invite.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have shown up on that day. It's too cold for me. But sick invite. Appreciate it.
Next time I'll let you know.
That's the time to invite me if you don't want me to go. If it's 40 or below,
so I can just say like, hey man, I've tried, Sterling. Like, I've tried.
Grease outside. Kent's hitting me up. Hey, let's go golf. I'll appreciate the invite, Kent.
I think the next time I am destined to do that, I will actually just let you know and make you say no.
I'm surprised. I played with Tucker. I think I played with Tucker once, maybe.
I played with Tucker out in Vegas one time. One of our first like sponsorships at KCSN was Sticks Golf. And we all got sets of sticks, and like that was my new set. I was hyped. And we had to do some content. And so while we were out at the Shrine Bowl in 2022, we went and played Bally High, which is just right next to like the one of the it's on one side of the strip, I think the east side of the strip, west side, the farthest west side of the strip, whatever. And we got to play out there, and it was pretty fun. But Tucker played, and he tried to hit a wedge off of a hill and rolled down the hill. Fell.
Yeah, it sounds like Tucker. Sounds about right.
It was one of my favorite moments. It was like an early year 1 KCSN thing too. So, but yeah, he ate it pretty good. He's trying to golf in tennies that day. I don't think he brought the golf shoes.
No,
it's like I think that was problematic. But yeah, this is 21 Questions. This is the Q&A show here at KC Sports Network. How do you ask the questions? Well, when you are a KCSN subscriber, you get access to the KCSN Discord. And all of those questions today are coming from that. So we will jump right in here. Okay. Double tag. There's a few draft guide questions. I'll just rip off the top. Sterling, the KCSN draft guide, the pre-orders launched on Tuesday. So we are well in the process of working on all that. And I think the link will be in the description of this show if you do want to pre-order that book. It's going to be like 300 pages of Chiefs-specific draft content, and it's a passion project of ours that we do every year. So I'll rip through some of these draft guide questions. Double Tag Trent asks, any new features for this year's edition of the draft guide, or anything in particular about this edition you're excited for? I'm really excited to see, I think there's a lot of interest in places that the draft guide normally probably doesn't, get interest, right? Because there's more players at the top of these power rankings, these positional rankings, the rankings in the book that people are actually going to start paying attention to a little bit more. We're pretty stingy with true first round grades. We probably give out 10 to 15. And I think there's a chance that we have, a first round grade on one of the players that's selected by the Chiefs this year. So I'm pretty excited about that. Give me lemon or give me draft. Which draft guide has been your favorite one to put out so far, and why? The very first one was a lot of fun. Just because like there's so much anxiety to putting a book together, and then seeing the completed product and all that stuff was pretty cool.
You'll always remember your first, Kent.
I always will remember my first.
Guide.
Yes, we'll go with that, Sterling. We'll go with that. But yeah, I think the first one was pretty cool. The one where the Chiefs were in KC, or where the draft was in KC, was pretty cool. But yeah, there's a couple questions off the top about the draft guide. Those were the first two that popped up. So
real quick, with the draft in KC, I was there, and I remember one of the funniest parts of that entire time was I was standing and talking with some people from Detroit media, and when the draft was going on, everyone was befuddled because they kept going for linebacker, running back, tight end, and safety, and everyone was going 0 premium positions. What is happening? No edge, no cornerback, no wide receiver. They're going for linebacker, tight end, running back, and safety. And they were like befuddled and confused and disgruntled. And now we look back as those 4 picks all hit. It was a great run for Detroit. So I just remember that draft specifically for that moment, cracking up. And I remember interviewing Bryce Young going, I am taller than you. I would not pick you first overall.
Yeah, you probably were right there. The Detroit thing, I loved that draft from them. I just thought it was smart because, like, the thing I appreciate is they were basically getting the first player or near the first player in all of those positions. So, like, they played the board a little bit. I know the positional value stuff wasn't great, but they nailed it and they got near top. Like, I mean, Gibbs was a clear tier player up there. I know he was the second running back taken, but he was still like, you're not getting a running back as good as him later, in the draft. So I thought they played that thing perfectly, honestly. Crunchy Waffle Boy asks, should the Chiefs consider pursuing 2027 draft picks over 2026 draft picks if they were to trade Trent McDuffie? I've heard that the 2027 class has a lot of talent, but I'd imagine the Chiefs would rather address their needs as soon as they can. What do you think, Sterling?
I would imagine it'd be 2027 now at this point. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would assume, and maybe I shouldn't assume this, I assume if you're going to trade McDuffie, that means you're extending Watson. You have Christian Fulton and Noel Williams this year, so you still at least would have 3 solid corners you trusted. I guess maybe this late into the offseason, I would almost expect it to be 27, and I don't know why I would. I don't have any inside information why it would be that way, but that's my personal feeling about it. But I also feel like 2026 can be framed 2 ways, as either an all-in if Kelsey comes back, if the Chiefs decide to get Tyreek Hill and get the band back together and all. If they traded to say, we're going all in 26, we'll worry about 27 and 27. Okay, fine. But if you want to do a get-right year where you just eat all of the Chris Jones $45 million cap hit this season, you don't extend it, you don't mess with it, well then, okay, sure. This could be a quote-unquote soft rebuild, a retooling year like we saw in 2022. I just think there's 2 very vast different ways the Chiefs handle this offseason, and I think the draft picks, if they were to trade McDuffie, could fall into either of those categories.
What did they do in 2022 in that little rebuild? Oh,
well, they had the Tyreek Hill trade with McDuffie, and then they got Karlaftis, and they got younger. I think they also... Yeah, but that's the outlier. If you plan on that if everything going correct that year in an offseason, I'll sell you the San Francisco Bridge. By the way, not gold. It's called the Golden Gate Bridge. They're liars. It's red.
False advertising.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I think the pool of teams interested opens up if you're willing to take 2027 draft picks. And the value might fit a little bit better for some of these teams because, like, I know that the 2 teams that have been a little bit lightly connected, and I do think that there's some legitimate buzz of interest in Trent McDuffie because when you see so many media outlets kind of running with a very similar through line there, I pay attention. And there's just there's enough smoke there that, like, yeah, the Rams in pick 29 who have multiple first round picks this year, and the Dallas Cowboys who have pick 20 and a ton of draft capital over the next few years. 2 teams with excess capital being willing to maybe move on from move for Trent McDuffie in 2026. Maybe. Maybe it's the teams with excess capital in 2026, but 2027, I'd rather get some more picks for that year if I can figure it out. That would be my preference, I think, because I do think that draft has a chance to be really special in some areas that the Chiefs could potentially need some help. Like the receiver group in 2027 should be absurd.
And you normally get better draft capital if you wait a year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why people don't like to wait it's like $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. Well, draft picks don't really matter based on draft class, but it still has the same philosophy, it feels like, when it comes to teams trading. For some reason, let's say a third rounder this year is the equivalent of like a second rounder next year. We don't really know why. It's not money. It's all based on draft class itself, but people don't like to wait. I think GMs realize they don't get it right and get it correct soon, they might get fired. Well, Brett Veach doesn't have that issue. And so Brett Veach is allowed and afforded the ability to wait and let his full plan play out.
That's why, fun scenarios is finding a team desperate, in the back half of round one that needs to make a move now and is willing to give up significant draft guy. If the Chiefs could get like a 2027 first from Pittsburgh, to move up to go grab a quarterback, if Ty Simpson blows up this process here, please, come on, I'll move back to 21. I'll move back to 21 and get a 2027 first. Please, I'd do that 10 times out of 10. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's the hope, right? It's just one of those teams is desperate. Speaking of picks in the 20s, Storm 7850. If the Chiefs go D-line with pick 9 and obtain another first round pick via a McDuffie trade, that's a really hot subject right now. Who do you like in the 20 to 29 range, and what positions do you prioritize? So, if the Chiefs go D-line at 9, what position are you prioritizing, Sterling?
Yeah, I think wide receiver is interesting, but there does seem to be a clear top 3 and then a fall off. And so at that point, you're probably not looking there. Running back, it does feel like it's, Jeremiah Love and then Gap and then maybe Price at around that 40 range. Defensive line, there's a lot of other guys you can go with. If a guy starts falling at a non-premium position, let's say like a Sonny Styles linebacker, right? Do you try and go that route? I think that could be. I think cornerback would be really interesting. I know it's you're not, you let a great cornerback go. Let's try and replace him, but it's also a rookie contract. The Chiefs have done a fine job there, and that's about where the cornerback pocket starts to happen, is around the late teens to 20s. So I think that could be intriguing. But also I think Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon, 9's way too high to draft him, right? 9 is a reach. But he's probably going to be there in the early to mid 20s. And if that's the case, you probably at least look that way. So I guess for me, if the Chiefs were to trade back into the 20-ish range for a McDuffie trade, if that's the pick that they were to acquire, I'd probably say look at Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon tight end or a cornerback.
I like that. I think the value might be at cornerback at that point too.
Yeah.
Sadiq too. That would... I'm half talked into this. Just let's do it. Fine. Let's move on from Trent McDuffie. Whatever. Sign me up. We'll do this. I like that a lot. I was gonna say the other one I could see there could be value at D tackle. Most likely if the Chiefs are going edge at 9 or D line at 9, they're going edge. I think that's where value fits better. So now you're probably looking at the defensive tackle group and Caden McDonald out of Ohio State, Caleb Banks out of Florida, Peter Woods out of Clemson.
But he'll probably be gone. Peter Woods is probably the first guy off the board as the D tackle. Maybe not, but it feels like that's where he's mostly talked about as the first D tackle gone.
We're probably not as high on him as others are in the KCSN draft guide. I think we have him as D tackle 2 right now, but I think the consensus still lies that he's most likely the first D tackle off the board. I think you're probably right. I would think I'd take Cade McDonald over him right now if you're asking me, and I think he'd fit really well with Chris if Chris is here too. So, there would be some fun options. There'd be some fun options out there if the Chiefs were if they were gonna make that move. Lee87 asks, if you two were competing in the Winter Olympics, what events would you be competing in?
Oh, curling, no doubt. You think I'm getting on the ice and playing hockey? I'm getting my ass kicked. You think I'm doing downhill skiing? I'm breaking every bone in my body. Lindsey Vonn, that would just be, yes, that me putting the skis on. I'm doing that. I'm tearing my ACL. Figure skating, I think I have some rhythm, but I don't have the body for that. I don't have the flexibility. I do yoga, right? So it's really for the golf swing, if I can work in those hips.
Good for you.
But I can't. I think figure skating, I'm falling multiple times. Speed skating, no chance, unless you want just last place locked up. I got you there. Curling, I'm going to lose, but I'm going to have fun doing it. I feel like I could do it drinking a beer, and I totally want to get on the controversy of the finger touching on the stone. I feel like we could just start a huge controversy, like Canada right now, and they're not even, like, they're saying, well, this was entrapment. Bleep you. You got caught cheating, and your response is, yeah, we cheated, but why were you looking for it? Like, imagine telling your wife, like, she catches you cheating, and you're like, well, okay, yeah, but why were you looking for it? Why were you looking through my, like, you're the one cheating. What are we doing here, Canada? I thought you were supposed to be a nice people.
How are you trying to play victim here, Canada?
Drink your milk from bags.
Do they really?
Yes.
What?
I don't know if they do as much anymore. That used to be the thing.
That's why they need to cheat in Canada.
Yeah.
That's
drinking
exactly
milk from a bag.
I think curling's the move. You're right. Because like the Winter Olympics are like, there's not very many safe sports.
See, even the luges. By the way, how the hell do you find out you're good at the double luge? How do you find out, like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to have a dude lay on top of me, and I'm going to go down this at 80 miles an hour.
Maybe we're good at it, Sterling.
Kent, you want top or bottom, pal?
I'll roll with whatever. We'll mix and match. We'll see what works best. We'll see how it flies. We'll see how it goes. How many outside of curling, how many winter sports are safe?
Like, even the luges, if you are off by a second, you are getting just tossed, torn, and beaten against ice. Bobsledding, same thing. You're just getting rocked if you fall at all. Figure skating is probably the second safest. I would have the half pipe. I mean, the half pipe, I'm probably eating it.
I feel like the Summer Olympics are a lot safer. I think the Winter Olympics are just the X Games with class.
Yes.
With pageantry.
Hockey is like the second safest sport. When hockey's the second safest sport, where you're losing chicklets left and right, I don't know. I'm not a winner. I'm not a psycho. I mean, I'm a psycho, but I'm not like that psychopathic where I just feel like I could be a winter sports athlete. No chance.
No chance. I'm terrified of the idea of this. None of these appeal to me outside of curling. I think curling is the only. Cross country skiing is the one where they basically just power walk with skis, right?
Yeah, and then the decathlon where you're like, you have a gun on your back. You're shooting shit. And sorry, I cussed. Are we allowed to on this?
It's fine.
You're shooting things and skiing. What if you have a gun just because they're like, this is going to be tight. You're a spy in a movie and you're trying to get away from an ATV. This is how you do it.
I think that might be number 2. I might try both of those.
That'd be kind of cool.
We're going to take a break and contemplate our Winter Olympics existences. And then we'll be back right after this.
I'm Brett Goodwin, one of the owners of The Learning Tree. The Learning Tree is a neighborhood toy store in Prairie Village, Kansas. This has been here in this location since 2000s, and my husband Alan and I purchased the store in 2023. Alan and I grew up in families where we've always wanted to have a business together. Alan grew up, for instance, his parents had a jewelry store. I worked in a local toy store here in Prairie Village when I was growing up. When this opportunity happened in 2023, we knew right away we wanted to contact them and pursue the store. We wouldn't have been able to get the store without the team at Emprise Bank. From the day we contacted them, they knew what we needed to do, which was very helpful. I would absolutely recommend the team at Emprise Bank to anyone looking to secure a business. We worked with Emprise from day one. They were extremely helpful. They were always great resources. We talk to them frequently. They know the area. They're very friendly. We know who we're going to talk with, and they know what we need to do. We hope we'll see you at the Learning Tree.
21 questions here on KC Sports Network. Continuing on with, I guess, the Trent McDuffie episode. Casey from KC asks, if we trade Trent McDuffie, what cornerbacks do we pursue in free agency, or who do we draft and win? I think there's one really obvious free agency answer, right?
Just Jalen Watson bringing him back, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
I think one for sure is going to be in Casey. And the Trent McDuffie situation is interesting because the Chiefs could play hardball. They could say, hey, Trent, we also have you with the 5th-year option, and we could franchise tag you. And by the way, that franchise tag is going to be less than you get AAV on a per-year basis. So the Chiefs could play hardball. Most teams don't operate that way. And the Chiefs probably wouldn't want to because when the franchise tag comes around, well, all that money has to be used then and there. That's going to be 28 probably million at that point, maybe close to 30 million at that point. Just, you got to write a check for it right there. That's going to be a lot. That's going to be a tough pill to swallow salary cap-wise. Now, the salary cap will rise. They could totally have that planned out if that's the way they choose to go. But I feel like it's either extension or trade with McDuffie. I don't think you let him play out or else you let him walk for nothing, and that would be silly. So you really need to figure out what you want to do with him now, and that completely determines the Jalen Watson situation. You do have Noah Williams. Christian Fulton's going to come back. I would be shocked if they moved on from him because, yeah, you can cut him for, was it $8 million? Or $8 million dead cap. You're only saving $5 million. It doesn't make a lot of sense to move on from Christian Fulton. So you have 2 guys you trust, and you need a third, whether that's McDuffie, whether that's Watson. One's going to be, in my opinion, one's going to be here next year.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of them's got to be here. Trent's going to be so interesting because he seems to want to play outside. He seems to want to make outside corner money. He's better inside, even though he's good outside. I mean, all of those things, if there's a team willing to pay him and willing to pay him to be an outside corner that prices the Chiefs out of what they're willing to pay him, then that's where the trade, I think, kind of comes in. It's going to be interesting. I mean, and a team acquiring Trent McDuffie could do the same thing and get him for 2 years. You know, one franchise tag and his 5th-year option, like, it's reasonable.
Especially a team that doesn't have a quarterback on a non-first or non-rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Like if you're a team with a rookie quarterback, you could totally do this because you're not paying the quarterback $40 million a year. Like the Seahawks can't do this, but the Patriots could.
Yeah. And I mean, they got a late one.
Damn, that'd be crazy, by the way. If McDuffie and Christian Gonzalez, that would be insane.
Terrifying. That'd be a good little secondary there. Lee 87, what is the KCSN draft eval that you've done that you're most proud of? I put a couple. I thought about this. I did QB and running back, I historically done QB and linebacker. I don't know if there's a ton that I'm like, oh, I was high on this guy and everyone else was, you know, Ivan Pace. I had a pretty good eval on, but I went and looked at the my guy stamps that I put on some guys. The ones I'm most proud of are Tariq Woolen. I loved Tariq Woolen, and he wound up going in the 5th and having a good career. Loved Brenton Strange too. I was a big Brenton Strange guy, and like I think he went in the 5th as well. Maybe even the club. I was just hyped. I loved Brenton Strange.
Fantasy. He was like 1% owned, and I was like, yes, I'm the 1% that owns Brenton Strange in Dynasty Fantasy Football. Let's go.
I got into a startup dynasty this year, and it has changed my life. I think it's the cure to male loneliness. Is Dynasty League football?
It's an epidemic.
It's only if epidemics are awesome. I love it, man. Like the group chat is insane and unhinged. It's so much fun. But I got Brenton Strange. I picked him up late in Dynasty this last tight end room is he's like tight end 3 or 4 for me. I'm loaded right now. I got Tyler Warren and people don't care. People don't care. I'll send you a screenshot later. Kevo134, what would your approach be to the linebacker room this offseason? Whoo!
Phenomenal question.
Great question.
And this is phenomenal, and I'm excited because everyone is going to hate what I say.
Cut them all.
No.
Oh.
Everyone's
Sign them all.
Also no.
Run it back.
Everyone is going to hate what I say. And I haven't really thought about it too much because I've waffled a lot. I've gone back and forth because there's so many ways the Chiefs could do it, and you could talk yourself into it being the right decision. Nick Bolton's here, so we can just start with that. Nick Bolton's here. He's going to be, whatever your thoughts are on him, he's here.
He's here.
Shockingly, the guy with the Mizzou stuff behind his shoulders likes it.
What?
The conversation comes down to, do you move on from Drew Tranquil, and do you resign Leo Chanel? And everyone I've talked to is, well, yeah, you move on from Drew, and you re-sign Leo. The pushback I've given on this, and I have pushed back harder and harder now. If they re-sign Leo, he's not going to be going up in snap count share. He doesn't play the Drew Tranquil role. That doesn't solve anything. He really is a 3-4 outside linebacker. He's a phenomenal chess piece, great player. He doesn't fit this current Chiefs defensive style. And so you re-sign him, well, even if it's $6 or $7 million, let's just say him and Drew Tranquil go for the same amount AAV. Let's just say hypothetically it's the same amount AAV. Well, I know he's younger. I know he's a great special teamer. I know he's an impact player and a chess piece. But do I want to give the same amount of money for a guy who's going to play 50% of snaps or a guy that's going to play 100% of snaps? I thought Drew Tranquil had a nice year last year. I thought it was up and down. I thought there were some moments that were a little concerning. But overall, I think we look back and say, yeah, Drew Tranquil had a pretty good season. I think he's very versatile. I think he does a lot of things. And I don't necessarily trust Jeffrey Bossa in that role quite yet because the Chiefs showed us they don't trust Jeffrey Bossa in that role quite yet. And I don't think he's the same player at all. But at least you have a player who can fill the Leo role. I know it's a UDFA guy. I know he's not the same. It's Cooper McDonald. You actually have a replacement in-house. You don't really have a great replacement unless you just believe in Jeffrey Bossa to replace Drew Tranquil. If you're saying who's more talented, Leo or Drew, yeah, probably Leo. But when it comes to this particular Chiefs defense and how they're used and how they're deployed, give me the guy that plays 100% of snaps.
I think Leo will probably price himself out of Kansas City because I do think there are teams that will be a little bit more flexible schematically to allow him to play more.
Yes.
And I think you're like, to your point, it's like almost 3-4 linebacker-ish. Like, I think there will be some teams that let him play as a stand-up and be at the line of scrimmage, point of attack, maybe rush a little bit, but
he's going to go to the Eagles and thrive.
Somebody's going to, the Bills fans want him so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. So I think he'll get priced out. Drew, I can see going on. Drew would purely be cost savings, just pure cost savings. Because I think it's if you feel like you need the cap space to make everything that you need to happen this offseason happen, then you have to get rid of Drew. Okay, but $7 million for Drew Tranquil in 2026, I'm fine with. Hey, you're saving $6 million, I think. It's nothing. It's significant, but it's not like it's hampering them.
I let him bled his contract. I mean, again, you can get under the cap right now just by Juwan Taylor alone. And then you have Mike Dana. Then you have Noah Gray if you want. I mean, there are a multitude of options. For me, I'm not saying extend Drew Tranquil necessarily unless you literally just added one more season, which at that point you are getting a little into the nerve-wracking age conversation. I just think you let Drew play the contract out. I think Leo probably prices himself out, and I think you just move on and say, hey, that's our plan. We hope Jeffrey Bossa grows into that. He has one more year to do it. And if not, you draft a guy this year who you think might be able to do that in round 3, round 4.
Or you draft Josiah Trotter at 40.
Also correct.
I just wanted to see that smirk. I just wanted to see it.
Hey, my thought is, why draft a running back this year when you can get hard for Hardy next year?
I mean...
Are we hard for Hardy, Kent?
Yes. Stud. Absolute stud, man. That dude is so good.
I am that. I'm trademarking that. I'm going to make a T-shirt, hard for Hardy.
I think you should sell it on A10's official site.
I'm sure they'd love that.
Yeah. I think it'll do wonders. But no, he's awesome, dude. He's a great player. I mean, I think he could sneak into where the Chiefs are hopefully picking in 2026 or 2027. I think he could be a late round 1. If I'm watching right now, late round 1 type, easily. I mean, he's awesome. Great running back. I want to see more as a pass catcher. I know this.
I don't think he's a first rounder. I think he's probably second or third. We'll see. We need to see him do it one more year, I think.
As a runner, he's special.
Electric, dude.
And so it's like, that's where I think the ceiling hurts him a little bit, is just like pass catch, pass pro. Does he have that?
No. But damn, is he a good runner, baby.
Yeah, he's fun. He's fun to watch. Go KC. Do you think there could be any teams that would want our 9th pick Does it make sense to trade back and get more picks? We talked a little bit about this, but I mean, I think the scenarios are probably, it's a team looking to trade up for a quarterback, most likely. And who is that? Is a team trying to I think if people, I've been saying this, if people want to talk themselves into Ty Simpson, I think they can, because they just watched the first half of the season and how amazing he was. And then explain away some of the struggles in the back half of that season with injuries. And if you get there, I think there's some teams that'll start talking themselves into him, especially as like the free agency cycle plays out, the trade cycle plays out of the quarterback position, whoever's left. The Rams, I could see the Rams wanting to just take their quarterback of the future. And Ty Simpson in Los Angeles with Sean McVay would be incredible. So they pick 13th. If you want to get out ahead of the Rams, you got to go move up. So maybe some teams willing to go up to 9 and grab their quarterback. And I think that's one of the scenarios that the trade makes sense. So I don't know what teams that would be, because I think a lot has to shake out, but I think that's the scenario that you have to play out, I think, is the most likely one.
This is one of the few years where I don't want the Chiefs to trade back. This is one of the few years where they have a chance to actually get a legit first-round grade on a guy. Like when they're picking 29, 30, I'm like, yeah, sure, trade back. Just pick up more picks. At that point, we're talking really second-rounders to begin with. I'm okay with it. I would prefer a trade back then, but it takes two to tango, and you can't always do that. If you're drafting like third, there's a lot of guys that you want. Yeah, also trade back to like 10, sure. But it feels like to me there's like 10 guys that I really would be okay with the Chiefs draft. And maybe 10 is too high. Maybe it's 7 guys. Like, right, because we're not counting Mendoza or anything like that. So that's like 7 guys I really feel like the Chiefs would draft, and I'd be pretty happy with, right? And it doesn't have to be even a premium position. Like, I don't think it's going to happen. If Caleb Downs, the safety, fell to 9, and, the the wide receivers are gone, the edges are gone. Yeah, sure. I like Caleb Downs. He's to me, a blue chip player. If Jeremiah Love's the only option at 9, I'd probably like a trade back then. But again, you have so many different players and variations that I think stay at 9. You're going to get a guy who's going to be a game changer, hopefully year 1. This is your one chance to, I think, get a blue chip player on a rookie contract in the Mahomes era. If you trade back, we're then talking about, it'd be nice if you can get a Karlaftis, or wouldn't it be nice if you can get a FAU or a Clyde or a like to me, this is your chance to really get a top end player on a rookie contract.
It just depends on, because I think there's a list of players that, like, if you add Caleb Downs, if you add Jeremiah Love into the mix, if you add the corners into the mix, or at least one or two of the corners, McCoy or Mansour Delane, now you're talking about a pretty big pool of players. I mean, I'm looking at it. I was doing some math here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 names here. That's like Tate, Tyson, Lemon at receiver, Reese or Styles at linebacker, McCoy, Delane at corner, Love at running back, Bain, Bailey. I'm not as big on Bailey.
Sure.
I have a few reasons. And then Downs. So it's 11. So you add Mendoza into the mix. You add some offensive line in the mix. You might be able to get one of those players that I just listed if you love that list at 13. And so I don't know. I think that's a relative list of the blue chip. It just depends on positional, like what positions you want. Because like if the Chiefs are pretty locked into edge or receiver, I think they stay at 9. If they're flexible and they're just gonna, kind of play that, maybe they move back a little bit. Maybe they're okay having one of the corners, having, Downs or, Sonny Styles.
I think Downs is gone, but I think Downs is
probably.
I think he's the best safety prospect since like Eric Berry. Like we're talking Kyle Hamilton territory, smaller, but Kyle Hamilton impact style of player. Like Emin Wari, like we saw Seattle have. Like that's where I somewhat find myself seeing Caleb Downs as an extremely high floor, but also a very high ceiling.
I think if you told me that Reuben Bain and the 3 receivers are gone, I might move out. That's probably the scenario.
Sure, and I'm okay with that. But I think those four, I guess, and then maybe Caleb Downs, and then I'm entertained. Bailey, I'd consider. I'd still consider Bailey, but you're right. I don't know if it's a stylistic fit with Spags as well.
I think the conversation around Bailey is going to get interesting. I think after the combine, I'm really kind of curious to see how some things shake out there, because like the combine's good for a lot of things, but it's also like just the information starts leaking. Like that's where things get even more fun. Is like you kind of start getting an idea of people's off seasons, you start getting an idea of who's available for trade, and then you start getting an idea of what some of these teams really think about some of these players. I'm curious where David Bailey sits in this like stacking here, because and a lot of these lighter rushers, period. You know, what teams really fit, you know, does he fit Spags? Does, you know, I think I'm interested.
We should do a podcast combine.
You just like all the podcasters in Kansas City?
Correct. We have a podcast combine.
I'm in.
To be electric.
I'm trying to think of how many people are local. Like this,
not a ton local. I mean, I get that. There's not like we're local. We could do this. You and I could just do it. You and me and Tucker. But we want a lot of local guys.
I ran a 3-cone on draft weekend last year on Saturday as part of a fundraiser that we were doing. It's like day 3 of our content is always like we live stream every pick. Our live stream on Saturday of the draft, Briscoe came in. And things just got unhinged. And so he brought costumes and he brought edible crickets. All crickets are edible. I mean, but yeah, he brought in dried crickets. And it was like if we met certain mile markers in the donations, we had to do different things. And I think once we got to like, I don't remember what number it was, 10 grand or something like that. I did a 3-cone in a Pokemon costume.
Good for you.
It turned out okay. It was better than Maddie thought. The truth is, Maddie would actually probably he'd smoke us in a lot of things. Not all.
I'll smoke a lot of things, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, Maddie
do it all with a cigar.
Yeah, there we go.
Light.
There you go. Maddie's he works out, like he lifts all the time, and so there's some things he would cook on. Lee 87, if a bidding war happens at running back in free agency, how high do you think the Chiefs should go? When do you cut bait and just cross your fingers for the draft?
Woo. I think around, depending on the player, like Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall, I'm probably about 12 mil AAV. Like a 3 for 36. I don't think you start getting into the 4 years quite with running backs. If it is, it's a 4 for 48, but it's a running backs are weird. Most positions, when it's a 4-year contract, it's a 3-year deal, right? Like most are, if it's a 4, it's a 3.
Yeah.
That was Juwan Taylor's. With running backs, a lot of times it's a 4-year deal, and it's really only like 2 years guaranteed. Yeah. So maybe you do something along those lines where it's like 4 for 48, but only 27's guaranteed for Kenneth Walker or Breece Hall. I think I could find myself there. ETN is probably a little less. Maybe that's, again, the 4 for 40, but it's 23 million guaranteed or something like that, right? I could find myself in that camp. If you start getting to a 15 mil, I think I'm 100% out on those AAV numbers. Maybe you disagree, but those are the 3 I'd say. Then if those guys are too high, maybe you try and do a combo: Kenneth Gainwell, Tyler Algier, where you have your first and second down guy in Algier and your third down power. I guess both are kind of power guys, but your third down back in Kenneth Gainwell. I could find myself being intrigued by that combo as well.
I think on your show today, I was talking a little bit about that. Like, I think a Gainwell Algier combo, something like that. Like I think I'm more in the line of like the 2 running back kind of thing rather than the top end guy. A lot just depends, dude. A lot just depends on what the cash budget is for the Chiefs this year, because like I don't want the Chiefs to get too caught up in the running back market, or I'd rather them have more solidified answers at safety, running back, wide receiver, edge, D tackle, linebacker, corner, safety, like all these positions they need to address.
Backup quarterback.
How much they can spend there? Do they invest? I mean, and there's so many one-year deals that probably exist within that list. You know, I think you're probably looking at 2 multi-year contracts is my guess. I think you're going to get 2, 3, 4-year deal types at 2 different positions. I'm going to bet on edge and a skill player, wide receiver, tight end, or running back. I don't know if I'm willing to do the big contract for a running back, knowing how many other things this team needs to address and if they're going to have the cash to do it. So it's tough, man. If the Chiefs sign Breece Hall for $336, great. I'm going to be cool with it because he's a really good football player, but I'm just going to be curious how the rest of this offseason plays out. I don't know if they're going to be able to roll the ball out week 1, like, you know, before the draft, like they say they want to. I don't think that's the position they're in this year. I think it's going to be a big challenge if they actually want to try to get to that point. Give me lemon or give me draft. This is a very important question, Sterling.
Good.
Who wins in a fight, Matt Verderam or Nate Taylor?
Dude, good question.
I don't think I've ever met Verderam in person. Man,
Yeah,
maybe
but
actually,
Verderam's a big dude.
Yeah,
He's a big dude. He's
like I
probably
think
6'2".
6'2".
I think Verderam has the size.
What's the arm length?
I've not measured his arms.
What's the reach? Why haven't you measured his
I've
arms?
stayed at his house before, but shockingly, I didn't go up and bring the tape measure. We went to a Blink-182 concert together in Chicago. It was great.
Oh, that's
yeah, he may have stayed at my house once too. Yeah, me and Vert, we go back. I love Verderam. Nate Taylor too. This is tough. I'm probably saying Verderam because I feel like Verderam's just a bigger guy. So I might just go with the bigger dude.
Verderam's 6'2"?
He's probably 6'2", yeah.
Wow. I don't think I ever registered.
He's way bigger than his like profile picture looks like. Like you see it on Twitter and you're like, well, he's not that big. And you're like, oh, he's a big dude.
Have you met Matt Lane in person at all?
I don't think so.
How tall do you think he is?
I've not met him in person, so I don't know.
I know. Like, yes. Like, how tall do you think he is based off his social persona and all that stuff?
6'1".
Okay. So there is a faction of the internet that believes that Matty Lane's like 5'8". People are flabbergasted when they find out that he's a good 6'2".
Wow.
Yeah.
People think he's Mick Cronin.
Yeah.
People think he's out here just
this tiny, small and wide, you know, broad shoulders, but nothing vertically. And he's every bit of 6'2" and pretty shredded. But it's so funny because people think he's 5'8". I'm the shortest guy. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm the shortest guy in the podcast.
See, this is what's a whole bunch of nonsense. Everyone in the social media space are like Daniel Harms, tall, huge guy. Like he's also
6'4", 6'5", 6'6".
He's probably 6'4". He's a good guy. Wait, me and Harm go way back as well. I love Harms. We do a whole bunch together. Anytime he comes to Casey, we've golfed and stuff. I'm 5'10". I'm very normal size height. I'm 5'10". And what the hell? It's like my basketball team again in high school. Why am I looking up to everyone? I'm in sports talk media. I'm not in sports. I'm just supposed to talk about it. I'm supposed to be the normal size, maybe even taller than folk. No, I'm not. This is nonsense. By the way, I think it's the Midwest. When I lived in Philly, I worked for the Sixers. Like everyone that I was like taller than all my friends up there. They're like 5'8", 5'9". I'm like, all right, look at this, guys. 5'10". What's up, boys? What's the weather down there like? Then I get to Kansas City and like back to Kansas City. I'm like, what the bleep?
You're just looking up.
God,
everywhere.
Killing me over here.
I always joke like the lab basketball team. Craig's 6'5".
Okay, well, I'm waxing you boys in basketball. Give me the rock.
But if we got 3-on-3, if we got a 3-on-3 action and it's the lab guys, we've got Craig with the 6'5" presence. Maddie is 6'2", and I can shoot. I feel like we could do some damage in a 3-on-3. I mean, Jason's pretty tall, so like if you're putting an 8-10 team together,
we got
Jason,
2 guys.
Huh?
We got 2 guys, Jason and myself.
No, you know what? Lebo probably is like just like a ringer, an absolute. He's Bill Murray in Space Jam.
I'll say this, Kent. If we play basketball, go to church.
Ooh,
pray you don't guard me.
Ooh, are you a bucket, Sterling?
I think I'm a bucket. I played AAU. My guy Landry Shamit's in the NBA, so I used to play with him. We used to play on the same team. We had Brandon Ubel. He played at Nebraska. He was on the team. The other couple years older than Landry, but he used to get called up and play. Pumas up there. Old Scott Wedman, as the old NBA player, was our coach.
Oh, that's awesome.
All I did was shoot, dude. I was Jimmer for dead. It's 30-foot bombs. There is never a shot I saw that I'm not gonna take. Okay. It's if you watched any of what was the Mississippi State guy last night go up for 49, 35 in the first half, 9 of 12 from 3.
Nuclear.
Josh Hubbard, nuclear. That's me. That's my thought. I think that not anymore. Now I'm going 3 of 13 probably because I'm washed and old with a broken ankle. But
this is another fun. I used to play basketball every weekend or every week, 3 hours every Monday night. It was the most fun. And then we got into a league and we weren't bad. What age were you the best at basketball in your life? What was the age?
Probably 20.
Ooh.
Probably 20 at Mizzou. I played in college probably 5-ish days a week. And I was really small. I grew in college. I was like 5'6" in high school. And I got to 5'10", and I was able to jump. Like, I never thought I could jump. And one of my friends one time was like, can you touch the rim? And I jumped, and I'm hanging from the rim. I go, why have I never done this before? Why have I never tried? So I'd probably say 20. It was the only time I ever dunked a basketball was age 20. I'll say 20. I think that was my physical prime and my basketball prime.
I peaked at 26.
Wow.
And I've not really played since. So we used to play every night or every Monday night, play for 3 hours. And like, I'm good at one thing. I can shoot it.
Sure.
That was it. Well ahead of my time. Just chucking them up and lighting the scoreboard. But we had a kid I turned 27. We had a kid, and I haven't played pickup basketball since, and I miss it so much.
Let's go. I played about once. Oh man, probably twice a month.
Not right now.
And not with my ankle. No, I'm not with my ankle. But yeah, I used to play a lot. Even when I lived in Philly, I played a lot. I used to. There was an old NBA player named Jermaine Jones. He played for the Sixers, played for the Lakers with Kobe back in the day. And I was shooting at some like event one time, and he's like 45. He's like, hey yo, let's go come to Camden sometime. We're gonna have some runs. We need some guys because I was shooting very. He's like, so I was there. It was him and some guys from Europe and stuff. Let me tell you, those guys who were bench players, 8th guy on the bench, 9th guy on the bench, 10th guy off the bench, insane. At 45 years old, he made a guy who's 23 in his prime playing overseas leave the gym. And the guy was about 6'11", by the way, the guy that was from overseas. Leave the gym because he was getting his ass handed to him. These guys who played in the NBA.
Insane.
I mean, just at 45, just ridiculous.
My dad used to be a pastor on campus at KU. And so he would play pickup with like Roy's staff, like 4 days a week, and 3 of the days were in Allen. So I'd go and just like get to hang out and watch my dad play pickup basketball in Allen, which is cool. But Bud Stallworth, he was 50 years old, 55. He was a fine NBA player. Dominates. 50 years old, just dominates everyone. It's just insane. Those guys are absurd. It's just how easy they make everything look.
And all those guys that weren't shooters, oh, wait till they go to an open gym and there's a guy who's 6'2" guarding a 6'8" guy. All of a sudden they can shoot lights out because there's not shooting in NBA games when there's a 6'9" guy on him as well.
When you are a shooter, you feel like your rhythm and your release is fast, right?
Yes.
Like you think you are a lightning quick release,
fine-tuned athlete. Then you see these guys and you go, it was never a chance. We're built different.
Way slower than you think it is. Like that's how it is. Like I couldn't get a shot up, I'm sure. Like just because it's good, but it's slow. Chris asks, we got two more before we get out of here. With another Rashid Rice incident, do they not have a choice with free agency? RB and free agency wide receiver at pick 9. Is that the route that they have to take? Do you feel that they are cornered into that route with some of the uncertainty around the Chiefs receiver room in 2027?
No, I think that's the way I would probably lean if Bain's not there, but I don't think you're forced to. You at a minimum, you still have Worthy, and you have, I guess, Royals technically still on the roster. We'll see whatever happened to the Rice. I mean, there's a lot going into it, but it's right now it's civil, and you don't really get suspended off of civil suits. But we'll see how it plays out. I mean,
you can with the conduct policy. That's the thing that's
you can, but it's typically rare. But we'll see how it plays out. But point remains, you have Worthy. You needed a draft pick at wide receiver at some point, and you're going to bring back, or at least a free agent wide receiver as well. Like you were going to. People say it's stupid, and I might not argue it, but like Juju's probably coming back. Like if you told me if Juju Smith-Schuster's on or not on the team next year, I'd probably lean towards like 65-35 he's on. Like it's going to be a cheap deal. He'll be your blocking wide receiver 5. They trust him. Like he'll probably have the same role he had this year, and maybe even less or so if guys emerge, or if Royals emerges, or if Worthy takes the next step. But I think I don't think Hollywood's back, by the way. But like Thornton may be back, and Juju I think is. If you tell me who's the most likely coming back, I'd say it's Juju. Who I want the most to come back, it'd be Tyquan.
I think that's right. I'm with you there. I don't think they're locked in a receiver at 9, but I think there's a decent chance it's a receiver at 9. You know, like I think you're right. Like if they think Caleb Downs is the number 1 player in this draft, I'm not going to be stunned if they take Caleb Downs and then take Omar Cooper at pick 40. You know, Ruben Bain at 9, and you know, Denzel Boston. I don't even like that one, but you know, I
get your point though.
I don't like every Chiefs pick anyway. Like you know, they might. Maybe they'll take them. Last one. Andrew Schnitker asks, is Bradley Chubb outside of the Chiefs' price range?
Yeah, and I don't really think he fits.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like a Spags guy. And maybe you disagree, maybe everyone else disagrees. Like
I don't think he's a slam dunk, no doubt Spags guy. I'm with you. I don't know where he fits on that spectrum and how comfortable they are with him as a run defender and density and you know all that. I don't know.
To me, the two guys to keep an eye on who are free agents who I think fit what Spags like. Again, it's not always what we want. It's what have we been what have we seen in the past that makes us believe this could work? Kwity Paye from the Colts. I think Kwity Paye makes a lot of sense. People will hate it, but he's like George Karlaftis, great in the run game, very strong, very physical. Probably not going to get you double-digit sacks every single year, but he's going to get you about 8, and he's going to be cheaper. I think Kwity Paye is the name that I keep pointing out that makes a lot of sense. And by the way, you know how much of an upgrade that is over Mike Dana or Charles Omenihu last year? A ridiculous upgrade. Again, it's not Trey Hendrickson, but that's a big upgrade.
Yep.
And then the other name is obviously Boye Mafe. Yeah. I think I find myself liking Kwity Paye more than Boye Mafe, even though I think the name that Chiefs fans will get excited about is Boye Mafe, Boye Mafe. I know the Seattle defense was great last year, but he fell on that depth chart, got 2 sacks. I know Kwity Paye didn't have a great season, but still had 5 and was still like a guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are the 2 guys that I think make sense.
I think there's just depending on like where they go to, like, I mean, impact edges. Like, I think, yeah, Kwity Paye might be a fun one to take a look at. And then like, if it's not going to be that, like if they're AJ Epinesa as like a, you know, low tier rosterable edge kind of guy, like probably is right there with Ashton Gelati competing for edge 2. Yeah. I'm just curious to see, you know, how heavily they're invested over there at the edge position. I think they should probably be pretty heavy there. Like I think that's where one of those multi-deals should go out.
Yes.
If they're going to do them. You just have to find the players that would actually fit that. I think Quiddy Pay is a good one.
I think it's Spot Trek. People will look it up after the show and like, oh, what's the Spot Trek number? Oh, that's high. I don't think he gets that. Like, I think that's a little steep, but that's what edge rushers get. Like, when people look at George Karlaftis in that contract, that's why I keep saying you might not like it. That's the going rate for edge DN2s in the NFL. It is. That's why when you draft them, and why at 9 I want an edge, I want Payne and not Jeremiah Love, because the elite running backs on the free agent market get 12. The elite, edges on the free agent market get 30. It's simple economics, my good Kent.
Even if I like it. Even if he's a mid-level, even if Ruben Bain has the George Karlaftis arc, still $20 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, is like it's still the same. It's still the same. Like, I mean, it's surplus value relative to your running back. So why, a mid-level Ruben Bain career is still, from a cost value, a surplus value relative to running back, just period. So, Sterling, thanks for doing this, dude.
Yeah, it was fun.
Always great. The three shows from now, I'll probably call you.
Perfect. Call me anytime.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be for a show, Kent. You can just call to hang out or vibe or go golf or.
The weather's getting nicer. So, or basketball or both. We'll just find it. We'll make a day out of it. We'll make a day out of it.
Well, we'll make a montage.
Yes, and we'll tear up the town. We'll get all kinds of. We'll get some basketball going with some golf. We'll go find a couple beers somewhere. It'll be a whole thing.
Dude, you said beers. I'm good.
Say less. Yeah, we'll try curling while we're at it too.
Oh yes,
I'm in.
12-ounce curls, baby.
21 questions. Thank you all so much for listening, watching, supporting. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll catch you later.